Like I said when I started this broadcast today, I'm winging it. But God laid this verse upon my heart. In Psalms 90:2 and 4. Before the mountains was brought forth, or ever thou hadst formed the earth and the world, even from everlasting to everlasting, thou art God. For 1,000 years in thy sight are but as yesterday, when it is past, and as we watch the night. Yesterday is the past. Those 2 years that I wasn't obeying God, I can't live in those 2 years. I've got to live in the now. And I've got to know that I'm an overcomer. And if you truly want anything from God today, you too got to know that you're an overcomer. There's no pits too deep, no mountains too high that God cannot reach. And there's nothing impossible for God. If we would just hold fast today and know that He's there. All we've got to do is just reach out and touch Him. It'll be there today. God reached way below the bottom and took my hand. He didn't care if I was the world's most foolish man. He took my heart, He took my soul, He took my mind. God reached way below the bottom for me that night. God saw me and He knew all my weakness, and He knew that I was sinking deep in sin. But He heard my prayer, He saw my tears of all my loved ones. God reached way below the bottom for me that night. I took His hand, He lifted me out of darkness. He took His blood, His precious blood, and washed me clean. He took my fear, He took my pain, He took my sorrow. God reached way below the bottom for me that night. God reached way below the bottom and took my hand. He didn't care if I was the world's most foolish man. He took my heart, He took my soul, He took my mind. God reached way below the bottom for me that night. God reached way below the bottom for me that night. People, I was as low as you could possibly be. I was sinking fast. But God reached way below the bottom for me tonight. Some people like to talk about mountains. Some people like to talk about hills. Some people like to talk about the valleys. But I like to say the pits. Because the pits is lower than the valley. It's lower than the hill and it's lower than the mountain. And when you get so low that you forget how to pray, my friends, you're in the pits. But God reached way below the bottom for me tonight. And no matter how low we can get, God can pick us up. And He can put us up and plant us where He needs us to be. Just begin to trust Him tonight. And know that He and only He can lead the way.